Welcome to Heart of the Lion. My name is Anthony Hart. The kingdom of heaven is inside you. The kingdom of heaven is in your own heart, of your own making. It's what lots of people want to say, that our life is what we make it, that we have responsibility to do something good with it, to take responsibility for it. But it's also to take responsibility for how we feel. Feeling good and connected is a choice. And it doesn't mean that you get good at making that happen overnight. It's a skill. And it's important. Feeling good, being able to get through the issues, feeling good. That doesn't mean when you feel bad, everything shuts down. That you can't do anything, that you can't choose to do stuff anyways, even though you feel bad. You can choose to do stuff anyways, even when you feel bad. And that's a good thing. And there isn't necessarily anything wrong with it. But it's also good to understand how to make yourself feel good, how to feel connected to all that you are, to God itself, to the universe, to the earth, to the people around you, the ability to connect with people around you. I heard one guy, he said, IQ doesn't matter, EQ matters. He said, the smartest people don't run the world. EQ is important. His terminology, EQ, is for the intelligence of communication, the ability to communicate with other people, the intelligence to read other people, to understand what they're meaning, and to communicate back in a succinct and good way, in a way that balances the relationship, so that it can flow harmoniously. And so he was saying the people with the best EQs run the world, not the best IQs. So, EQ is important. Connecting with other people is important. And part of that connecting with other people is how you feel on the inside. So all these things are connected. Learning how to feel good and how to feel connected. Connected to people, connected to this world, connected to yourself, connected to the universe, connected to God. And that's obviously that's more than EQ, but EQ is a part of that. And then there's a big other aspect of it, a spiritual aspect of it. Anyways, EQ is important, and so are these other things. So feeling that connection and feeling good about yourself, feeling good about life, about the people that you have around you, and guiding them. That's something that's taken me a little while to learn, that it's my responsibility to step up and make an interaction go good. Sometimes I want to just sit back and just somebody else lead, somebody else guide the situation. And it's okay to do that. You don't have to lead every single situation that you're in. But sometimes there'd be a troubling situation that's happening, a problem with EQ. We're not quite understanding each other. It's going past each other. And then, there I am just sitting there just following along. And it's hey man, get up, stand up straight, do something, lead the interaction, choose, guide it, guide it with your actions, guide it with your words. And part of the getting up and straightening up in that situation is feeling something good. If you're just looking at the person, you're just man, you're such a loser, I don't like you, and all this. If you're doing all that kind of stuff, talking that way in your brain while somebody's talking to you, you're only going to be able to lead them right back into exactly where they're at already. So you got to start thinking a little different. Okay, maybe I ought to try to understand, maybe this person is coming from here and they're coming from there and they're in this way, and then maybe they don't mean it quite like that, and maybe there's a possibility that they're just misguided or they have a different understanding than I do. And how can I help them to see what I'm trying to speak to them? How can I make them feel comfortable, like I'm listening to them? And you take charge of the situation, and you can't do that unless you feel good. When you feel good, you can almost have your pick and your choice of the litter. You can pick from this or pick from that, But if you don't feel good, it's gosh, maybe you can only, your choices are more limited when you don't feel good. That's why, those fighters, they try to touch it to each other so they get into their, oh, I don't feel good. And then they only have one or two choices, where if they would stay back, stay calm, stay cool, stay collected. When you're calm, cool, collected, and leaned back, you can see, you have less than tunnel vision. You have more options in front of you, and you have the possibility to do something, to change the course, to change the flow. But when you're all in your emotions, or your negative emotions, I should say, you get kind of like tunneled in a little bit, and it traps you off. And you're basically, what you're doing in that situation is you're letting the negative influence of the other person or the other being influence you in your direction, and then you have no choice except to lead them in that very same direction that they're projecting. Instead, if you stay back, lean back, have calmness and coolness, think something positive about them, see them in a light of some kind of positivity, then maybe you can choose from an option to lead them to a place that maybe they wouldn't have gotten to on their own, a powerful place, a good place, a happy place, a place where your connection works okay, works well enough, or works good enough, or even better than it was, So you can, you can do that if you remain calm, cool, collected. And part of feeling calm, cool, and collected is feeling comfortable and feeling good. So learning to feel good is really important. It will help you become have more options at your disposal for all the different types of interactions that you go through, because we all go through challenging stuff. We all have people that are not willing to budge, or being a jerk, or just upset at their day, that we have to deal with in this world. And if we can have ourselves feeling good, feeling positive, looking at something good, being grateful, then when we interact with those other people, we can bring more options to the table, more tools to bear, and we can be a force for connection and for self-empowerment, as well as empowering others to bright horizons. So anyways, I just want to talk about that a little bit. Feeling good sometimes gets trampled on, like, oh, who cares about feeling good? You just got to work. You just got to do it anyway. And that's cool. There is a place for do it anyway, no matter what. That's awesome. I think that's beautiful. But that doesn't mean don't feel good. That doesn't mean don't be optimistic. And there's morale benefits in that, in being optimistic, in helping yourself feel good and recognize all the wonderful things that are in your life and that are all around you. May you realize that now. All the wonderful people around you, all the wonderful blessings in your life, even if it's challenging, they're little things. Thank you for this water today. Thank you for this life today. Thank you for this breath in my lungs. Thank you for this heart, this voice, these eyes, these ears, this body, this capacity to do the things that I need to do. I heard one guy, he said there was a different definition of abundance. And the different definition of abundance was the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, period. That's what abundance was. So we all have that beautiful abundance, the ability to do what we need to do when we need to do it. And God has blessed us with that. May God always bless you with that. God bless you all, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in to Anthony Hart with Heart of the Lion.